Hello and welcome to video 5. This section covers people, spectators and conflict resolution. While spectators are welcome at the Circuit of Ireland rally, we as organisers and marshals have a duty of care to ensure they spectate safely. The general public are often not fully aware of the dangers at a rally and often can't comprehend the speed of the approaching car. You sometimes think that spectators think these things are in reels, but we all know they're not. So if we accept that they don't fully understand or comprehend the speed, then the responsibility moves to you, the marshal. It's up to you to make sure they're well informed and that they stand in acceptable places and that they fully understand the dangers if a car should go out of control. Throughout this training, we've constantly touched on what the MSA say about the principles and responsibilities. We've yet to touch on the ones directly linked to spectators, so let's have a quick look at those now. Control the movement of spectators whilst the stage is live. Follow the instructions you have been given at signing on or those received from the stage commander or the clerk of the course. Okay, so let's say spectators have arrived at your location and they've asked you for directions and you've shown them the way to go up into the field, across the field to whatever safe area they feel they want to spectate from. And maybe 10-15 cars go past and these guys want to move. Now you've obviously given them good information, told them that when they're coming back that they need to come back via the field, follow the same route that they went by. Big favour, you see, whenever you finish up at the end of the day and you're coming back, don't come down the road unless the rally's over. If you can come down the field, it would be fantastic. But they have decided not to do that. They have decided to jump over the hedge and come running down the road between the cars. How can you control that? They've completely ignored what you've told them to do. Well, here's the answer to that from the MSA. Indicate the approach of oncoming vehicles by the use of your whistle. So while these good folk have defied all the instructions and good information you've given them, and they're coming scampering back up the road again, all you can do is shout, car, car, or blow your whistle really hard whenever there's a car coming. You can of course shout, get off the road, use the field, but if they still don't pay any attention, then your last port of call is to warn them so they can at least get off the road as cars approach. The modern cars are quite quiet, and as these people are running down the road, they may not pick up on the fact that there's a car coming, hence the need for you to warn them. It's a bit like raising kids. You do your best to tell them what to do and what's right for them. When they go off the rails, you have to protect them when you can. Remember, your whistle is a warning device and shouldn't be overused. Overuse of the whistle will render it ineffective. When possible, keep those around you informed of the current situation. This may include passing on news of an early cancellation of the stage, so be prepared for questions as to why and what happens next. Okay, so we're back to communication again and the use of that mobile phone if you've got reception. We have in place a text message system which will give you updates on your stage, which means you can relay that information to the people that are spectating around you. It's quite good because it'll keep them around you because they'll want to hear the information. They'll want to know if the stage has been stopped, why, and they'll want to know is the stage restarting, when's it restarting, and you should have all that information. It'll make you a very important part of their day. So as we mentioned in video 4, there'll be 2 runs of your stage on the day. Each run will be split in 2. There'll be internationals and nationals. If, for example, the international event is stopped or cancelled, then the national event may still run depending on how quickly the stage is cleared. So that information will be good for spectators. The last thing you want is spectators moving around if the stage is going to restart, if the next event is going to run even though the previous one has been stopped. Stand in a sensible place. Do not position yourself where you would not allow a spectator to stand. for example, a prohibited area. Well, I said we're going to cover the principles that we hadn't touched on yet, but this is one that's worth a mention again. Remember those videos where we showed the people standing behind the tape, or the Marshal in Galway that went over the bonnet? We don't want anything like that happening. Try not to stand directly in front of spectators, so blocking their view. They will not thank you for it. Okay, so this is very much about you looking out for your spectators and making sure they enjoy their rallying. The last thing you want to do is see the back of your high-vis vest. So have a look over your shoulder, and if there's people behind you, move to somewhere that's more appropriate. With that said, if you've got a chosen spot that you want to be in so that you can do your job, then talk to the spectators, explain to them why you're there, and suggest at the earliest opportunity that they move maybe a wee bit to the left or the right so that they can still see. I think if you let people know on time, it'll work out best for everyone. Locate your nearest radio car. They may be your only communication link back to rally control. Remember, you may have little or no phone service where you are. Okay, so while I've rattled on about your mobile phone or having a radio with you, the bottom line is that there may not be service and there may not be a radio. So you need to work out where your mandatory radio point is so that you can travel there or send someone there if something goes wrong. Do not leave your position unless you are specifically requested to do so. So something's happened on your stage and there's no mobile phone signal where you are and there's no radio, and you know where the mandatory radio point is. You may well be asked by another marshal to make your way to that point to relay a message. You may be required to deal with an incident and write reports. Be prepared for this. So remember preparation, bring a notepad and pen. Be firm, fair, and most importantly, friendly and polite. So while we put up signs with advice on them, and those that prohibit areas, and tape that prohibits areas, it's hard to beat a marshal giving out accurate, clear information in a big brotherly-like way. It might seem odd to some that we refer to our interaction with spectators as being a relationship, but really that's what happens when you first meet people. You form an opinion and you form a relationship. A contract, perhaps an emotional contract, is maybe more appropriate. The bottom line is that if the spectators like you, they'll listen to you. If they don't like you, it's going to be an uphill struggle all day long. When you're going to be flat out setting up your junction and preparing for the event, it's important to take a few minutes to say hello to folk as they arrive. My goodness, you're here early. Tell me this, do you know where you're going or what you're at? Ah yes, there is. Hey listen, it's good to see you here and have a great day. Striking up a conversation, short as it may be, with a bit of crack, can be more than enough to help you out later on when you need these folk to help you. And while I know that you're going to give politeness your very all, there will be times when the odd spectator just heads for the prohibited area. We suggest that if they do, that you deal with it immediately. If you leave them standing there until the safety car comes along and moves them, relationships are not going to be good, and again you're going to struggle with them the rest of the day. Here buddy, I'm sorry, you can't stay here. This is all going to have to go. This is a prohibited area. What do you mean I can't stay here? I've been here for near an hour. You watched me setting up all my stuff and you didn't say a word. Sure, all them other people now have arrived and took all the good places. If you had told me in time, I was here early. You stood there and watched me. So carry on is this? And as you can see, we now have a situation. So let's have a quick look at how this should have been handled. How you doing? Are you taking you here to take a few photographs? No, you can't stay here. This is a prohibited area. I tell you what, you're here good and early and there's plenty of space. That field over there, there's nobody in it yet and there's a really good jump over there. So clearly what we're saying here is that if we use a bit of empathy, common sense and respect for others, we treat people in the way that we'd like to be treated, then things should go all right. With that said, whilst the vast majority of spectators respect your authority, you may at times experience resistance to your requests. So again, the MSA have given us some advice, some hints and tips on what we can do. Let's have a look at those. Your authority may be challenged, but remember, it's not personal, so don't make it so. Macker, don't you come up here and tell me where I can stand. I can stand over a lake. Why don't you just roll away down the hill there like a Teletubby, like what you are a big fat Teletubby. Roll away down the hill there. I see Tinky Winky and Lala looking for you. I tell you what, mucker, call me a Teletubby. If you know bathroom skills of your own. I actually feel a bit like a Teletubby and all this. Well, all my coats and all on me. Anyway, setting aside the Teletubbies and a bit of a carry on, I've got a bit of a problem here. Be firm, but most importantly, be polite. Because I have tried, and my colleagues have tried, and nobody seems to be making any ground with you. So, what are we going to do here? Are you going to move, or are you going to take the risk that the stage will be cancelled and nobody will get to see the rallying? My day will be lost, and your day will be lost. What do you think? Listen to their argument. They may identify an issue you're unaware of, which could change the situation. I wonder, could you help me out, mate? I've come down this laneway here. It was a sat-nav that brought me this way, and I've got to this road and see if the road closed. Is there anything we can do? I'm kind of stuck. I'm trying to get to a friend's house and I really don't know the area particularly well. Yeah, indeed, the road is closed. It's closed from 6 this morning to 4 this afternoon for a motor rally, and there's not a thing I can do to let you through or to open it. Sat-navs are a bugger, aren't they? But I tell you what I'll do. I'll get a map out here and see if I can work out a different route for you.
Hello?
Hello, Davey. Davey, I tell you what it is. It's Robert here at location 7. I tell you what, the oddest thing just happened there. A fella come down, you know, that muddy lane, the wee skittery narrow lane. Boy come down that there in a car, and he sat-nav had brought him that way, so we turned him round. We've got him sorted okay, but I tell you what it is. It might need something maybe at the other end of it to stop people coming into it. Remember your body language, as this can undo all your good words. Tell you what it is, it's a prohibited area, mate, and you can't stay here. Is that you're standing in a prohibited area and I need you to move. The event needs you to move. And if you don't move, then we'll have to get the safety people to stop and have a chat with you. Asking compliant spectators to support you can often be very helpful. That's another good reason for befriending the spectators when you meet them at the start of the day. You can use them to help you sort out that awkward spectator. Now, we don't mean that you use them to threaten that spectator. What we mean is you use them as a lever to persuade that difficult spectator to go to the right place. If you are still unable to resolve the situation, seek further assistance, either from the next passing safety car or via the radio network. Talking to the safety car isn't the last resort, but stopping the stage or cancelling the stage will be. So use all the skills that we've talked about. Think twice before jumping in. Okay, so let's recap on what we've covered. Befriending spectators as they arrive can be as important as anything. Listen to them and be empathetic to their concerns. If there's an issue developing, act on it as you see it. Don't wait, don't let things fester. And finally, if you need help from the safety car, ask for it. The last thing you want to do is pretend that everything's fine, but it's not.